Hello everyone! In our last video we learned about functional interfaces. Actually we talked about interfaces with exactly one abstract method. Today we are going to learn about one of the most exciting and powerful features, which is Lambda Expressions. Lambda Expressions. A Lambda expression is a concise way to implement a functional interface. Actually, without creating a separate class or an anonymous inner class. Think of it like a shortcut. And instead of taking the long road or writing a full class or an anonymous inner class, actually a Lambda expression lets us implement the method in just one line. So let's see this in a practical example. So let's make this interface a functional interface by adding annotation functional interface. Let's declare when method here because it is a functional interface. So we already talked about two ways to override a functional interface, right? One was with a regular class like class B, which was implementing interface A. Then we were overriding, let me write way one. Way one was to just override the method show. It can be in two ways. You can manually write it or go to the source and add it by this option. So here I just add one line to be printed. Hello from class B. And then we could create a new object, obj equal new B semicolon, and then we could just call our method, right? Let me run the program. Yeah, show method is running hello from class B, and this works, but requires an entire separate class just to implement one method, right? And we also talked about way 2. Which was about anonymous inner class, right? And it was for sure less code. And way one was with a regular class at most code. So in way 2 we were also creating an object obj1 for example equal new and A, and then instead of the semicolon we were adding two curly braces and we were adding semicolon after the curly braces, and then inside these two curly braces we were adding our override method. So just copy and paste it here. And for sure, to make a differentiate between these two methods, two ways, let me just write hello from anonymous inner class. And then we could simply call the method. Let me run the program. Hello from anonymous inner class. So we already talked about these two ways. Now let's go and talk about way 3. Because way 2 is also quite verbose for implementing just one method. Now let's go for the way 3. Way 3 is called Lambda Expression. And this one is most concise, as we talked about it earlier. So let's create object G equal. Now instead of all these code, we just can simply add parentheses, the symbol, and just add the thing that we want to implement. Just one line, which is this one. And that's all. Now we can call for sure our objects. Object 2, and via this object 2 we can call our method show. First, let me just change the message to make it clear that it's printing from this way. Lambda Expressions. Now let me run the program. Yeah, hello from Lambda Expression from 3 different ways, and that is this one single line, and we have fully implemented the functional interface. All 3 ways produce exactly the same output. Now let's understand exactly what the Lambda expression syntax mean. So this parenthesis belongs to the method, the show method. Since show method has no parameters, the brackets are empty and there is nothing inside the parentheses. And this symbol, which is called arrow operator, it separates the parentheses or parameters from the body of the method. And we can also read them as goes to or implement as, and then the body, the actual implementation of the method. So the whole thing reads as with no parameters, implement as print hello from Lambda expression. So notice that we have eliminated compared to anonymous inner class. This is our inner class. So there is not any new A, and there is not any override needed, and no public void show is needed, and no extra curly braces are needed, and no return keyword needed. Java is smart enough to figure out all of this from the context because it knows we are implementing the functional interface A, which has exactly one method show. Remember, Lambda expressions only work with functional interfaces with exactly one abstract method. And that's why it already knows that we are working with show method, and we don't need to mention it here. So, and that is Lambda expression in Java. If you enjoy watching this video, make sure to like and subscribe the channel so you never miss a video. See you in the next one.